Street Therapy. I'm your host, man. I am the boss. Welcome tonight, man, on a new episode, man. Um, Welcome to y'all tonight, man, with a different mindset, but still focused. Coming from a different place of experiences. Just transition to life. So, with that said, man, you know, it's very important to be responsible for your actions and everything you do. And when you're being responsible for your actions, that means you're evaluating the process of some of the things you displayed, some of the things, you know what I'm saying, some of the responses, etc. So it's very, you know, this, I just want to take up time to, I just want to take a point to talk about that. But in the midst of that, man, enjoying this Friday, you know what I'm saying? It's another blessed day. So, throughout the week, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, I was talking to the producers up and there. I was asked a question because of my transition from having a life sentence at a young age to being free, going through solitary confinement for an extensive amount of time, 9 years to be exact. And the question of what does freedom really mean, you know what I'm saying, just from my perspective. And I mean, it was a deep question. It's really something that you can't give off the top of your head when you look at the many aspects of freedom. Because it was a particular point in my life where I said that even while serving time in a hole, I think it was probably on my third or second year, I had told myself that I'm still free. I'm still free. And it took me to damn near break from, you know what I'm saying, just reckless behavior. I'm behind the door, I'm fighting with police officers, I got them running in my cell, I'm being starved, I'm disconnected from relatives and friends and people, so I ain't had nobody to talk to. So, I had to really focus on what freedom was. And my freedom came from a state of mind at that particular point. Physical freedom is a whole different aspect. But when you have eternal freedom, that is a whole different plane. That's a level of evolution. Some people would say spirituality, you know, I don't want to mean to offend anybody, so I would just say it was an evolution process. So my freedom came from me and shout out to my godfather, my man, Robert Ashby, currently doing serving 37 years, currently been there 37 years on 3 life sentences. He spent 22 years in the hole, and he helped me understand a huge concept about myself, in which I adapted this ideology, and never be bound by your circumstances. Never be bound by your circumstances. So when I first heard it, I didn't grasp the whole concept of never be bound by your circumstances. What are circumstances? Current situations that you're under. Being bound is to be held. So never be held down by your situation. What does that mean? My grandmother used to tell me this all the time when I used to get on the nerves. She said, I was bored, man. You know, I want to go outside. I want you to take me somewhere. I want to do something. Bored. I said, man, if you're bored, read a book. You can travel the whole world and not even get in the car. Man, that was using your mind. So I put those two together to understand that concept. never be bound by your circumstances. And once I fully grasped that concept, the remainder of the 6 or 7 years of what I did behind the hole came a little bit more easy, because my freedom now became a part of displaying my strength to the world through letters. Because at that particular time, that was the only thing I was awarded for my privilege of communication, was letters. So I would write my letters and detail my day of how I would feel, and I would put it in some form of a poetic way. It wouldn't rhyme, but it would give you a vision of what I was actually going through the way I wrote it. And that freedom right there, the freedom for me in that aspect was the response I got in those letters. I had no damn, so I'm like, man, I'm going through this, man, but you make me seem like, I think about you and what you're going through, but the way you sound upbeat even under your circumstances. And I had to. I couldn't drown in a situation where I understood at that particular point where I had no more control. I had no more control. I'm behind the door. I gotta eat when they decide to feed me. I get a shower when they decide to let me out to get a shower. When they decide to come and handcuff me, let me get out of the shower. If I want to see my family, I have to go through X, Y, and Z stages of writing this person and getting this approved and getting this approved from this person just to see if I can get it done. And I didn't get a visit for like 4 years. I had no human contact for 4 years. So my form of freedom was me writing, me displaying my strength, me displaying a sound mindset even under the harsh circumstances. I'm around dudes that's throwing feces all day. I'm around dudes that's banging on walls and vents all day. Around dudes that's flooding tears all day. We got COs that just want to cut your light on, leave it on, and fuck with you for no reason. You got some COs that might come in and spray mason your seal, or be a slat, spray mason your seal, close your slat like they ain't never did nothing. You got people killing their seals in that joint. You got dudes doing homosexual acts that you may hear that may discourage you from sleeping like that. Damn, bro. Like, so it's a harsh reality that a lot of us had to live, and to have a form of freedom in an incarcerated environment, man, is an eternal evolution, man, because that means you're giving yourself spiritually to the world that they can feel. I wrote letters that my relatives that could feel, my fiance, my children, my mother, my sister, my friends. So that freedom and the responses for me kept me grounded to say, okay, I got through this day, I can get through the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. As long as I have a plan on how I'm going to do it. So my freedom to me means having an eternal balance and understanding of my purpose in life. Having an eternal balance and understanding for my purpose in life. So my purpose may be to share my experiences with somebody that may be about to walk down a path that they can't handle. And by me sharing my experience, I let them know something, man. Damn, so they might think twice. I just came back home from a parole violation where I sat in the cell with a young kid who was probably like a couple months from going home. But he was involved in gang activity. So, and he got a note. I think my second night in that joint, he got a note in the middle of the night. They told him, man, look, tomorrow breakfast time, make sure you hit slip. Man, you already know what it is. And Shorty instantly panicked. He instantly panicked. And I'm telling him like, you know right now you gotta make a critical decision. Both of them don't have a good outcome. But you gotta make the best decision according to the plan that you want for your life. So are you committed to the gang lifestyle? Or are you committed to being a father and getting your life back on track after serving your 6-year sentence? And I say with that decision, it's going to turn up a lot of faces from either side. But you're going to have to be able to deal with it all. So you got to take this moment right now before you walk out this door and really understand the choice you're about to make. So with that said, Shorty thought about it, you know what I'm saying? But man, you know what I'm saying? They don't understand I'm about to go home. Yeah, well, this is what you signed up for. This is what you committed to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, but my children is not a third. Yeah, well, that's what you signed up for. That's what you committed to. Now you at that crossway, you at that crossroad, and you don't know which direction to go. But guess what? You gotta choose one. So suffer the consequences and reap the reward, because suffering is a part of life. Have freedom with your choice, eternal freedom with your choices, and accept the responsibility and accountability for your actions. It's that simple. It's not hard to accept that, because which is a whole other topic, is the mental health aspect. But a lot of us don't even understand we're doing some of the things we're doing. We're living a routine life. We're living a life of the circulation motion of kids, work, home, rest, all over again. And some of us are so gone in that aspect of life that you haven't taken the time to fully evaluate what you're capable of doing. You only know that you're capable of doing what someone else wants you to do. Because you're working for someone else, you're paying someone else, you're providing for someone else, you're nurturing for someone else, you're resting for someone else. What are you doing for yourself? You understand what I'm saying? So, that eternal freedom is something that I can harvest in an incarcerated environment or in a society environment, because eternally I understand that I have purpose in life. I have purpose in life. I have something to give regardless of where I am, because I still exist. If you still exist, you have power, you have strength, you have ability, you have opportunity. You have an existence. Your words still have power. Your story still has power. So there's a form of freedom in your speech if you evolve to that plane of understanding freedom isn't just society. Freedom is a state of mind. And being incarcerated for as long as I've been, and being in solitary confinement for as long as I've been, yeah, pretty much that's where I got my perception of freedom. And that's what freedom means to me. Now, from that stitch of solitude, the mental health aspect in that. Okay, so you have young men that have been traumatized by the environments that they indulged in, whether they grew up in them, adapted to them, whatever the case may be, the situation that played a part in life got them into some hard situations. So that's a traumatized situation they probably never got to address, because from the time that you committed the act, that whatever the act may have been, it went from incarceration the booking process, getting locked up, going through processes, going through the waiting phase, going through the trial, then getting sentenced. There's no real therapeutic aspect to that. There's only a nervous system that no one really pays attention to that automatically is an advantage to the judicial system. I'm gonna say district attorneys or prosecutors. Because you had somebody, whether they did the case or didn't do the case, the facts has to come out in some shape, form, or fashion. When your life is on the line, it's really hard to have any type of control over the nervous system. You know what I'm saying? So even the mental process, you know what I'm saying, with all that. Mentally, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, collapse. That's why they have lawyers there, you know what I'm saying, to represent us in the right way. But mental health in the hood and in our communities is a big thing. And coming from prison to neighborhoods that we come from and back and forth, like we ain't being addressed. We only being looked at as a drug epidemic, or they blame it on this, they blame it on that. But when you look at the white neighborhoods, the more middle class, rich, you know what I'm saying, high class, they call it a mental health or crisis when their children are addicted to drugs. You see the imbalance in that? We're called a rise in crime in our communities, but it's called a mental health issue when it comes from people with money. But we're all human. We take the money aspect of it, we all deal with something psychological. And that's a big thing, man. Like, where's the funding for that? Where's the trust that's pulling up for the mental health people, man? Where the people, we can have conversion vans or trucks outside in these neighborhoods where a psychiatrist, someone that they can look up to in their neighborhood, or can relate to some of the things that they've been through, there's somebody they can go talk to. Where those people at, man? Real loud, because they need it. They need it. Mental health in our neighborhoods is a big thing, man. And a lot of times it's only addressed through incarceration and more drugs, whether it be from a street pharmaceutical or counter for some pharmaceutical. It's a drug. You're just diagnosing a person or feeding a person another form of mental imbalance, whereas though there's already a mental imbalance from a non-toxic state. So we need to really start to invest in that. We need our government, we need our lawmakers, we need our councilmen, we need our governments, we need our mayors to really start to invest into the therapeutic aspect of mental health in our neighborhoods, and set up some go talk to vans and all that stuff, instead of setting up crime watches and all this other shit, man. Like, you really have people that really can govern themselves, man, or govern their neighborhoods, man, with the right resources. We got the leaders out here, but sometimes y'all scared to let the right people's voice, y'all scared to let the right people's voice be heard. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. You know, everybody's message don't get received the same, everybody's message don't get delivered the same. But sometimes we all speaking the same message. Find the people, type of the people that speak on the same terms that you talking on, man, but not speaking the terms of the people that they deal with. Engage with people, man. Network with the people, man, so we can all get on one accord. Especially with this mental health, bro, because, man, like, we losing. We losing. The African American community is losing, bro. With mental health, we really losing, bro. And we not talking about it. It's not being raised up. It's not a red flag saying, hey, help, man. It's not nobody doing that for us. I'm advocating for it, man, because I need the assistance every the times, man. All the time, for real. So, man, like, man, wanna tap on y'all, tap in with y'all on that, man, because it's important to me, man. It's really important to me, man. Mental health is very important, man. We got loved ones, friends that's suffering behind closed doors right now, faces and all that, man. Suffering, and because we don't know how to help them, we try to help them the best way they can. Sometimes we are the triggers to it. We enabling them sometimes. Man, we need them resources, and we need them resources in our community, man, to help with this mental health crisis that's in the Washington, D.C. communities. Man, this shit live, this shit unscripted, man. I fumble, I fuck up. Hey, man, blame it on the dog Julio. Fuck it. Right? Good gas. You see the shit, you see the shit we smoke. That's how I'm doing, man. Fuck it. Man, but no, that's how that street therapy is, man. You just come on and get this shit off your chest, man. You know, topics that we may be talking about amongst each other. I'm an advocate for it, so that's why you see this face on there, but man, they go deeper to me, man. Got the cameraman events, got my brother, you know what I'm saying? Got my friends, all that shit come from Murray me. Me, I just take the initiative to sit in front of the camera and talk about this shit, man. Have a good time, man, because it's therapeutic to me, man. You know, I don't know how to open up a conversation, or I don't know how to address certain conversations or things that I'm going through, but I get in front of this camera and I just let loose on certain things and I feel better, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit I'm telling y'all about or telling y'all about is really some of the shit I'm really going through internally, man. I might be asking a person about this or asking a guest about that, but shit, and now this shit apply to me because I can relate to damn near all the shit I'm talking about. This street shit, everybody that comes from this shit, these street niggas. Alright, we street niggas. I'm around what I can relate to. I'm a product of my environment. And I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it in a positive way. Is that I ain't old, man. I'm not dead. I'm not locked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here selling drugs. I'm not out here doing this. I'm not out here doing that. I'm not out here. I have my ups and downs, but I'm surviving, bro. I'm here to tell my story, bro. I'm still existing. So, man, I salute myself to that, bro. Because there's a lot of dudes that ain't here to say that. Whether they incarcerated, they dead, they mentally can't form a sentence. You know what I'm saying? So for the fact that I take the initiative to get up here and speak this street therapy shit, and I represent the many thoughts and ideas of so many of the people that I surround myself with, man, hey, this is what we doing, bro. Because I know what we all going up, bro, you know. Find anything. Julio. Real nice. Real nice, man. But last but not least, man, you know, just for the night, I want to touch on the topic of respecting the women in our lives, man. Understanding how to respect the women in our lives, man. Whether it be your significant other, whether your mother, your sister, your aunts, whoever. The biggest thing is understanding what love is. What people love look like. Learning what people love look like. And understand how to accept it when it's being displayed. So many of us got so many blocks up, me Pacific, so many shields. That nigga don't even understand when love is being comforting you. Is being surrounded by you because your mentality of life is so distorted by some of the fucked up shit that you done already did that you start to block out the little things, the natural things of affection that become irritating or agitating to a comforting emotion. So respecting and understanding how to respect the women in our lives is really taking the time to listen to them. It's confusing. It's misleading. It's misunderstanding sometimes. but it's necessary. It's necessary. Because as men, we complicated this shit super. You know what I'm saying? We get in our own ways, we got our own structure about how we do things. Some men take the pleasure away from their women and don't even know. They just so follow the lead of their man so much that they don't even know what the fuck their purpose as a woman is outside of the purpose of serving their man. That they still have a life too. You know what I'm saying? So in my relationship, man, specifically, man, you know, you got the freedom to be you at all times, you know what I'm saying? Wherever I understand the emotion that you displaying on that, man, be you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a learning curve to what you displaying and what you showing me. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all got the traumas of life amongst us. So a lot of times, the people that we love, the women that we love that's in our lives, man, you know, they was given to us for a reason. They was in our life for a reason. We chose them for a reason. But somewhere in between, we let that desire fade, son. And it become a challenge. A challenge to yourself. How you gonna overcome this? How you gonna overcome that? How you feel about this? How you feel about that? What I'm gonna say about this? How I'm gonna respond to that? So, shit. But like I said, listen to your significant other, man. Respect the woman, man, because when it all boils down, man, I hope, you know, that's what you do it for. You know, I decided to get fresh, put that splash shit on. Yeah, I do it for me. I want to feel good, look good too, but I'm looking to attract, or, you know what I'm saying, be attracted to, you know what I'm saying? For me, my fiance, I do it for her. I want to look good, step out, look good, smell good, you know what I'm saying? Be for her. She a beautiful woman also, so she do it for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you just gotta take the time to understand, bro, like who they is, who they are. So with that said, man, nigga high as a motherfucker. I leave y'all as I greet y'all, man, from the blessings of the Most High, man, on the street therapy, thoughts of transition. Like, subscribe, man. Link to the bio. Follow me, DM me, man, anytime, man. But share y'all, man, let me know what y'all freedom mean to you, man. What does freedom mean to you, man? You know what I'm saying? How do y'all feel about the mental health crisis in our communities? Is there a crisis that y'all see that needs to be addressed? You know what I'm saying? What does it mean to respect your significant other? Man, comment, man. Follow me, fuck with me. Leave y'all as y'all reach out. I'm out.